Hello, my name is Rick Utzler, and today we're going to take a look at what to do if you accidentally run your Evanix Speed or Conquest completely empty and can no longer fill the rifle. What's happened is that because there's no pressure in the tank, there's no pressure on the valve. This causes the hammer to hold it open, and it's why the gun won't hold air when you try and fill it. The solution to this problem is pretty simple and only takes a few minutes to fix. Before we get started, you're going to need to pull together a couple tools. You're going to need a good set of metric Allen wrenches, a regular screwdriver, some electrical tape, and a rigid piece of wire. Now let's go ahead and get started. So the first step in our process is going to be about safety. We want to make sure that our power switch is definitely off and that our gun is in the safe position. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the battery from the gun. Our next step is going to be to remove the stock from the gun. You're going to need a 4mm Allen wrench for this part of the job. Now, with that loose, you're going to gently pull the stock off the gun. Now, those wires are back in the stock here. You want to be really gentle with those. Okay, so that's done. Next, we're going to take a 3mm Allen wrench and we're going to loosen these two screws. There's one here and one here. Show you those on the camera here. One here and one here. This is what's going to allow us to release the chamber and refill the gun. Now, with those free, gently pull the chamber out. Okay, with this disconnected from the receiver, we'll go ahead and line up our fill port, insert our probe, watch our air fill, and now we're going to fill it very, very slowly. When you fill these too quickly, you can overheat them and it's bad, so definitely fill slowly. Okay, so the gun's full. Now we're going to go ahead and reassemble the gun. Now, because there's pressure in here again, this is going to go back and it's going to want to fight you possibly. It's going to want to try and push back out. So when you push this in, what I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and just add a little pressure when I set these screws in place. Because that way, I know it's right up against the receiver of the gun, so we know that we've got it tight like it's supposed to be. So this is the fun part. We have to fish these little wires back to the stock, which is where our little wire comes in handy. I'm going to insert this through the channel. Get a little bit of electrical tape. Now what I do on this end is I don't put these right together, because if you do, they won't fit through the hole. You have to sort of stagger them. Okay, so now we are going to pull these back through. Watch your trigger. There we go. Make sure you clear it. You also don't want to bind on the cable there at all. The wires, it's got a little shroud there on it. You don't want to bind on it. You can go ahead and reattach the stock. This is using a 4mm wrench. We can go ahead and reattach our battery. With everything reassembled, we just want to take a couple test shots to make sure that the gun is operating properly. With our gun in good working order, we know we can take it back out into the field and start having some fun. So this wraps up our video on how to make this simple repair to your Evanix Speed or Conquest rifle. If you have any additional questions, please call 888-262-4867 and the folks over at Pyramid Air will be sure to give you a hand. Thanks again for watching.